Oi, travellers! Afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to stop right there. These here woods belong to me and my boys, see? So, if you want to be passing through, you're gonna have to pay the toll.
Well, that didn't take long.
Brigands already? But it's only been minutes. We're still within sight of the gates.
Worse surprises than this await us all. Is everyone ready?
Yes. Come on, let's clear this rabble out. Follow me. I'll clear us a path.
If I may, you mustn't rush headlong into battles on your own. Without experience, your friends will never grow into accomplished fighters. Trust them. Give them something to do. At least let them deal the final blow.
Right. That's good advice. I'll give it a try.
Alright, first proper battle that includes characters that will actually grow. So let's talk about all the bumpkins that make up our team at the start. Our main character is Alm, who starts as his unique class, the Fighter, which is a basic swordsman like the Lord class that Marth belonged to in the last game. Unlike Marth, Alm is a fantastic unit that's very suited to frontlining. He starts off with better stats than his village friends, and he has pretty good growths all around in a game where growths are once again pretty low, and raising 2 stats when you level is considered standard. And yeah, 2% resistance growth, that's pretty typical. This is another game where resisting magic damage is really hard. Next up is Lukas, who's a soldier, an infantry unit wielding lances. Along with Alm, he's meant to act as the strong frontliner in the early chapters, soaking up damage and setting up kills for the weaker units. Soldier will promote into the familiar Knight class later, the thick armored tanks that we barely used in Shadow Dragon, so eventually he'll become really focused around physical defense, which is good because that's how his growths tend anyway. On to the other 4 units, all of whom start as the Villager class. Villagers are a preliminary class who are pretty weak and aren't specialized toward anything. The main priority in these opening chapters is getting all of the villagers to level 3 so that we can promote them at the earliest possible opportunity and get them into proper classes with better stats and combat options. Gray here already starts at level 5 and has this little icon next to his name showing that he's ready for promotion, so feeding him any kills isn't necessary. Stats-wise, Gray is geared toward offense, with his best starting stats and growths in his health, attack, skill, and speed. He's solid to start, but his real potential will only show farther down the line. Next we have Tobin, or Toby Poo if you prefer. He starts at level 2, so he only needs 1 more level to be promotion ready, and his growths are pretty balanced across the board. He starts tied with Alm for the highest speed in the group, but has the worst speed growth among the villagers. His best growth is unfortunately in skill, which isn't really helpful. Granted, this game has some shaky accuracy, so getting a boost to your hit chance definitely comes in handy, but having a few more points in it doesn't tend to swing battles all that much. I don't like Tobin very much as a unit, but he's one of Alm's best friends, so we'll tolerate him. Next up we have Cliff, by far the snappiest dresser out of the villagers. His combat stats start off pretty bad, but he has notably very high luck and resistance, and an absolutely blistering 60% speed growth. His low attack and HP growths definitely make him geared toward a class where he doesn't need to be in the middle of the fight, and that allows him to ignore enemy defenses. And finally, we have Faye. She didn't exist in the original Gaiden and was added to Echoes, presumably to make Alm's initial party less of a sausage fest. Literally, her entire personality is talking about how thirsty she is for Alm, so I'm not sure how much value she actually adds to the group dynamic. She's a solid unit though, with decent attack and resistance at the start and very balanced growths across the board, not failing or excelling in any one area, which allows you to build her into any unit you want her to be, or rather any of the 4 units the game allows her to be. The other new interesting gameplay mechanic in Echoes include tactics, which allow you to make anyone who you haven't already moved in your party to be controlled automatically by AI, following one of 4 preset tactics. I'll use it a little bit, but not extensively. The game is difficult enough that it requires a human touch to pull off safe strategies. We get the convoy in this chapter, accessible by Alm and anyone who's adjacent to him. Alm also has access to provisions, a separate option that also accesses the convoy, but lets you go straight to the food items that are in it, like all the oranges and stuff we picked up in Ram. Because we don't have a healer yet, provisions are one of the only ways to patch up your hurt units in the middle of a fight. Let's do some fighting, why don't we? Like I said, my priority is setting up kills so that Tobin, Cliff, and Faye can get up to level 3. So I set up a front line with Alm, Gray, and Lukas, with the others behind them to finish the bandits off when they get low.
Just say the word.
There's not much to say about the first battle itself, it's pretty basic. The brigands don't do very much damage, and everyone except Cliff and Faye can double them. Characters can double attack in this game as long as their speed is 1 point higher than the enemy, meaning every single point of speed matters to a much greater degree than in other games. Cliff and Faye only need to level up speed once to start doubling these beginner enemies, which will double their damage output, logically.
Never count Tobin out. This ends here. That's a new one. Damn you!
You can also take advantage of the fact that enemies will stop initiating combat when they get below half health and try to run for the supply tile, and use their passivity to safely go in with the villagers you need to train up.
Don't worry about me. Now you hate me.
Gotcha! Thank you!
And that's that.
We really took it to him. Yes! We've won!
That was some fine swordsmanship, Alm. I can see you have more than a bit of your grandfather in you.
You think so?
Since these early battles are quick, I think there's time for another one before we end the video.
Hold, everyone.
What is it, Lukas? More brigands? It seems the rumors were no exaggeration.
Based on their numbers, I surmise they must have a hideout nearby. But we can ill afford to pick fights with every cut-person rogue we encounter. Let's sit back and lay low until they depart.
Did you get a look at the wench we nabbed this morning? Hoo-wee!
She'll certainly add some color to that run-down old shrine.
She's prettier than the boss, that's for sure.
What? They've taken a prisoner?
Let's just be calm and... wait, don't.
Hold it, you lecherous pigs!
Huh? Who the hell are you?
Release the woman you're holding at once, or else!
Or else what? You must really want a knife in the belly if you're slinging taunts at the likes of us.
So much for laying low. To arms, everyone! Look over there. They have an archer. He can strike from a distance, so we must plan our approach carefully. Whoever goes after him needs to finish him quickly, or be ready for a reprisal. If you're not strong enough to take an arrow or two, stay well away.
Lots more forest terrain in this map, and just like Lukas mentioned, we have our first encounter with an archer. If you're playing this game after any other Fire Emblem, you might be pretty surprised when you attack one up close and he shoots you in the face right back at point-blank range. Man, Valentian archery techniques were years ahead of their time.
I've got this. There we go.
Anyway, the archer is easily killed with Lukas and Alm, so the brigands on the right side can be fed to the villagers, though I'm not exactly doing a great job of getting the killing blow with the optimal characters. But getting Tobin, Cliff, and Faye to level 3 is really not that hard, especially considering what we have to do after this chapter, so don't sweat it. Clumping up the gang works pretty well at protecting the weaker members and letting them hop onto a weakened enemy for a kill.
Give it up. Very amusing. Full marks. Yep, I definitely feel stronger. This is how it's done. I'll never yield.
Tobin is doing Tobin things by whiffing a 90% hit and then getting a garbage level up, but at least now he's ready to promote. Cliff finished off the boss and isn't far from being at level 3 himself. I didn't mention it in the first encounter, but at the end of each battle, your units get bonus experience depending on how much they contributed. It really helps take the edge off of how little experience units gain from getting kills compared to most other games. And even if you get a bad level, I think it helps to get that boost at the end of the battle so you never feel like you're super far off the next opportunity to increase some stats.
Well, I suppose that counts as our good deed for the day.
Sorry, Lukas. My legs were moving before I had a chance to even think.
Valor is nothing to be sorry for. Now come, let's find this prisoner they spoke of. They mentioned a shrine, yes? It must be nearby.
And that'll do it for today. See you next time.